Okay, so I've got the hair system selected. I'm on the hair system shape. So the hair system is really just a transform like any other transform. The hair system shape is definitely special. So let's see what we can find in here. Let's see. And sometimes it's better to look at these in the channel box to see all the attributes is listed down the side here. But there is a attribute that should show these start curves. Okay, so clump and hair shape. So we could use there's all kinds of values here. Hair width scale, that controls all the hair in general, so maybe what we need to be is on the individual hair. So let's look at this rest pose. Okay, so this individual follicle, I think I just remembered where it was. Okay, so we'll select the hair system, I'll hold down spacebar, and I'll go to in hair, and I want to display the start position. Okay, and then if you'll notice in the hypergraph, when I did that, it hides the output curves, the dynamic curves, and it shows these curves. So now I can select all these curves, and I'm going to rotate them into position. And this is how they're going to start out. That was a pretty good rotation. Okay, and I need to rotate these into so they point in the direction of the feathers that they're going to be controlling. I'll have to go through and do this one at a time. Okay. Okay, so that's that. Okay, so now if I go back to my hair system and display current position, can't tell, but it swapped out which curves I was seeing. So now when I click playback, they started out at that location, right? But they're still just way too floppy. Okay. So now with this done, let's select the hair system again, and we'll go to in hair, and we're going to set start position from current. Okay. And that should keep them from trying to point up. Okay, and then we'll hit Control A, and there's a attribute I'll be looking for. Stiffness scale we want to adjust. It's going to be pretty stiff all the way through the feather. And we want this start curve attract. Now what this is going to do is each of these dynamic curves are going to try to stay. Right now they're not trying to follow their start curve. They just start there and that's kind of where they're at. But we can tell them to try to stay in the vicinity of the start curves, which we pointed out and I rearranged. So we want that to be active quite a bit. We don't really want them to move much from the start position. And this is really going to change their stiffness. Okay, so let's click play. Okay, maybe too stiff. I'm not getting any movement at all. Okay. Stop and rewind. Let's make sure I'm looking at the right curves. They're so stiff, I'm starting to wonder. Okay. Now what this stiffness scale is, this represents the length of the curve. Across this graph represents the length of the curve. So I'm going to allow it to be slightly more floppy towards the end of the curve. So let me smooth that. Spline it, yeah. Okay. Let's allow it some dynamics. Click play. Still nothing. Okay, so I'm going to tweak these settings for a minute. I'll stop recording so you don't have to watch me do that. And when I get it figured out, get the right settings correct, and then I will start recording again and show you what I did. Okay, so what I need to do to start with is with this selected, with the hair system shape selected, I'm going to go to the in hair, and I've got my start positions set. Before I do that, I got my start position set, but when I hit playback, you see that all these curves try to lift up a little bit. And so that's not what I want. So let me stop that. And I'm going to go to this in hair, set rest position. I'm going to set that from start. Okay. So now it shouldn't try to raise up when I click play. It did anyway, of course. So that was one of the options we need to look at. Modify curves, start position.